What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Dell on Movies and another edition of Movie Swap. This is my first official movie swap of 2026, believe it or not. The last one was in December, if I'm not mistaken. Anybody out there who's been watching can correct me on that. But tonight I have a return guest from one of my very first episodes. And at that time, it's been so long, his channel had a completely different name at that time. He was Tim Talks Talkies then, and now he is known as Mr. Tim Vince on YouTube. What's going on, Tim?
Howdy, how's it going, Dell?
It's going good. It's going good. So let's start right there with the rebrand. Now I've seen the videos, but some people have not. So what made you decide to do that?
Uh part of it because I've my philosophy in it. I should have thought about this from the beginning. Is like, as much as my channel is about movies, it's my channel. It's like the stuff I enjoy. So I figured, you know what, heck with it. Just go with my actual name. So I kind of just rebranded everything to my actual name, and it's yes, movies are a heavy focus, but I also talk about other stuff I enjoy occasionally. Sporting events I go to, I show that stuff. It's literally just it's me. That's my channel. It's just me.
Notice that, and even in your out and about videos where you're doing collecting type things, I've seen a lot more toys creep in,
Yeah.
and some older games and things like that have creeped into the channel. So I've been enjoying it. It looks it's been going great, at least from this side of things.
I
Are you feeling better about it?
Oh, 100%. I appreciate it. I'm loving the vlog stuff. This current trip I'm on, I it was so much work that I couldn't do like a full vlog, so I kind of did stuff as shorts. But in general, for most other trips, like I love doing those big, like, yeah, sometimes they end up at like 45 minutes an hour, but like I do a lot of stuff in that time. Like I go to a lot of places, and I love I think about it as like memories, because I can turn back and look at those videos in like 2, 3, 4, 5 years, and like, hey, remember that? So
Yeah.
yeah, it's a vlogging channel, I guess now. I don't know.
Yeah, hey, there's plenty of those out there, and a lot of them are doing well. So don't feel bad about that at all. So on the movie side though, we are here to talk about movies, but on the movie side, how has 2026 been in your opinion so far?
I would have said okay until I saw Project Hail Mary, and that blew my mind how much I loved that movie. We're only in the beginning of April, but
Mhm.
that thing is absolutely going to be like a contender for favorite of the year, if not favorite. It's too early to say that, but like it's going to be up there. Like I loved that movie, so that alone has saved anything for 2026 so far for me.
I am I'm one of the ones that hasn't seen it yet. I keep trying to make plans to go, and they keep falling through.
Uh,
So hopefully get to go soon. I've been hearing nothing but great things about it. Anything you're looking forward to coming up? We're about to hit the summer, big summer push like we always do.
yeah, I nothing really like outright specific, to be honest. Probably the most I'm most excited for is Odyssey, and that's still a pretty decent amount away. And Evil Dead Burn is this year, as long as it doesn't get pushed. I think Evil Dead Burn's set for like
Right.
October. So those are probably like the two biggest ones, and they're not till like deeper into the year.
I haven't seen anything really about the new Evil Dead.
There's been
Other
nothing. Yeah, there's been nothing.
Yeah, I think the only thing I saw is actually a former guest. Um, has he posted something on Instagram just asking, which would you prefer from the new Evil Dead? Do you want a straight up horror, kind of like a Evil Dead Rise kind of thing, or the first Evil Dead, or do you want a horror comedy like Evil Dead 2 and Army of Darkness? Where do you fall on that spectrum?
Well, my favorite one is Army of Darkness, but man, I gotta tell you, that is my favorite horror franchise. Like pure consistency, I love every one of them in different ways. Like I thought the last one, Rise, was great. So honestly, whatever direction they go, as long as it keeps that quality, I am fully in, man. They're all great. Like I love them. It's a heck of a franchise.
Yeah, I don't think there's been a bad Evil Dead movie. So it's not my favorite, but I fully admit there's not been a bad Evil Dead movie. And the last one, I did get to see the last one in theaters, and I had a great time going to see that.
Yeah, so I hope let's hope Burn is right there with it. Just give me a damn good, Evil Dead movie, and I'm in.
I'm gonna set a low bar for it because my favorite horror franchise is Scream, but I'm gonna set a low bar for it. I'm saying it's got to be better than Scream 7. Give me
Man,
that with it.
that is a low bar. I saw Scream was one of my favorites. Like if I'm taking like entire franchises and thinking about best to worst, like Scream was right up there because really 1 through 4, I think were all good to great in that ratio. We got to 5, like it was kind of Force Awakens esque in the sense that like it retreaded a lot of stuff, but I
Mhm.
liked 5 well enough. 6 and 7, man, I kind of I I don't know if I got it in me for an 8 with after 6 and 7.
I especially like, but I understand, I get it. People didn't like it, but I liked it. I didn't love it, but I liked it. And 7, when I left the theaters, I was, ooh, that was pretty rough. I don't know what
Yeah,
they were thinking about that. That was
pretty
that was
much.
pretty bad.
Yeah, so I and they're right on their ready for 8, and I don't know, man. They took a franchise that was damn good, and
They're going for 8 because apparently Scream 7 has made the most money at the box office of any of them.
because they built so much off of like
Yeah,
stew, and that's yeah.
yeah. And I don't know if that's adjusted for inflation or anything like that, but as raw numbers, Scream 7 is the biggest. We got some people here, so let's see who's here before we really get into things. We got Steve here. What's going on? He says, "Hey y'all, how's it going?"
Howdy,
Corey is here. What's going on, Corey?
Corey.
Adrian is here. What's up, Adrian?
Hey, Adrian.
Stacy, who would you cast as the new? Well, she says hello. Then her next one is a question: Who would you cast as a new VR Warshawski Roseburg? I'm going to ask you not to answer that question yet. We'll come back to that when we're talking about it.
Okay.
Because that's an interesting question. I wasn't thinking along those lines, but that's an interesting question. Jeff is here. What's up, Jeff?
Howdy.
And he says, "Love seeing you back on the live." Yeah,
It's been a bit, man. It's been a bit.
yeah, it has been. And Adrian just asked. Well, he's asking Jeff, "How you doing?" Um, so yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. We kind of eased our way into this conversation, so let's go ahead and get with it. I'm gonna put the onus on you first as the guest. What movie did you have me watch?
So I gave a list, and you picked out The Conversation, the Gene Hackman 1974 movie, The Conversation, which I'm really curious, man. But yeah, it's. I'm kind of nervous, actually, to be honest, because this is could go several different directions. But yeah,
Let's do that. But every time I'm going through list of great movies, the conversation is always on there. So
yeah,
I had to see it. And I'm not kidding you. I don't know if anybody out there is familiar with list challenges. I don't. Are you familiar with list challenges? It's
yeah, kind of.
Yeah, it's a site, and they basically people put lists up of things, and it could be movies or it could be food, books, or whatever, and you just kind of go through and click the things you've seen or done depending on what the list is. And I do a lot of those, like when I'm kind of sitting idle, at home or I'm out somewhere, I'll just do a lot. And like I said, every time there's a great list, there's a great thriller list or a great paranoia list or a great all-time great list. The conversation always seems to pop up, and I know it's on IMDb's top 250. I'm pretty sure. And so I had to see it. And in your list, I'm gonna let people know. You had this movie and you had several other movies, and it was like, well, if you've seen that one, watch this one. If you've seen
Yeah,
this one, watch that one. So
yeah.
that was cool to see. I saw the other ones, and my last thing before I stop rambling is that I actually watched it twice because the first time I watched it was kind of late at night, and I was kind of half in and half out of the movie. So by the time it ended, I was like, what the hell did I just watch? So so then the next morning, the next day, because I'm off all week of spring break for teachers. So I was, at least in my district, I watched it again, and that kind of brings me to where we are. The, I thought that the conversation was going to be this big thing that we kind of work up to. And what we find out is that we get this conversation right out of the gate.
Yeah.
And it seems like a pretty innocuous conversation. Not any, I mean, there's some things happening, but it's not anything that you would think is earth shattering. So I'm going to ask you if you can go back to the first time you saw it. Did um did you know right off that that was the conversation that the movie was about, or
Oh
were
no,
you kind of waiting for something?
no, I had no idea, man. I knew zero about this movie going in. I think I bought, was it that Studio Canal release before Lionsgate released that big set? I bought like the Studio Canal version. That's how I first
Mhm.
watched this. So we're only talking like 2 years ago. And yeah, man, I popped it in. I had no idea what the heck I was watching, what the plot of this movie was. So I just went along for the ride essentially. So no, I had no idea that that was like the whole movie was built off of just this little like stakeout conversation in the beginning.
Mhm. And I want to say the whole conversation is, I mean, if you were to put it together continuously without pauses, because they speak and then they pause and then they speak again and then they pause. If you were to put
and
the whole thing together,
it's,
we're talking
yeah,
about,
it's cutting between like the different characters' point of views and
right,
yeah,
right, the whole thing. I mean, what are you talking? 30, 45 seconds
yeah,
of
yeah.
actual talking?
It's nothing. It's them walking 30 feet through like a park. Yeah, we're talking like a 30-second conversation.
Yeah, yeah. So that was really interesting because it took me about half the movie, and I was like, oh, okay, that's it. That's all we're getting. We're not getting anything else from this. So I thought that was pretty cool. Um, Gene Hackman, of course, plays the main character, uh, and he is the one who's been staking him out. And he's got a partner with him that he doesn't particularly like. It seems like, but then again, he doesn't particularly like anybody.
No, he's a really like
Um,
guarded person the whole movie.
extremely guarded, and I get the sense that people respect him but don't necessarily like him.
Yeah.
Are you getting that?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, it's deeper in, but like people are like kind of testing him, trying to get him to admit things because he doesn't. He kind of uses his job as a facade for being okay with doing certain things, and but he doesn't want to dive into the ethics and moral dilemma behind what he's done. If it makes sense.
Mhm. It does make sense. Um, I mean, and that's in 100% of his life. I mean, he doesn't answer questions. I know one of the notes that I made was he refuses to answer questions. He'll either deflect. Sometimes he'll just say flat out, "I'm not telling you," but a lot of
Yep.
times he'll deflect and be like, "Well, this, and this," but he's not actually answering the questions. And you can see the frustration on people's faces around him. So for me, while Gene Hackman is giving this great virtuoso performance, pretty much the cast around him is bouncing off of him really, really well. And I'm assuming you feel the same
Oh yeah.
about them.
Yo, the cast is a freaking Harrison Ford in a
Yeah.
a side role that I had no idea he was in it, even in the movie. He pops up and I'm like, oh my god, that's Harrison Ford.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. I did the same thing. I was like, wait, Harrison. I saw his name pop up at the credits. I was like, wait, Harrison Ford. And this is, of course, 1974. So this is pre-Star Wars.
Yeah.
I want to say pre-American Graffiti, even if I'm not mistaken.
I'm not
So
sure. But yeah, it's definitely pre Star Wars. So it's yeah. That surprised the heck out of me. It's a good cast.
yeah, that Terry Garr shows
Very
up in a
Gar.
really small role,
Yeah.
and I almost didn't recognize her. She looked so young. It was pretty. Now their relationship was interesting. So he um he eventually just shows up at her apartment, and he has a key to her apartment. He shows up there, and it's almost like he's sneaking in, but she knows that he's coming, or she doesn't. Maybe she doesn't know that he's coming beforehand. But as we find out, later in their conversation, she recognizes his way of entering the room,
Yeah.
and they they have an interesting relationship. What did you think about their relationship?
I thought it's all that he really knows. I don't think a person like that can really have a normal relationship. Do you know what I mean? Like it's the way he is with his job and how he treats everything. I it's I don't know if you could have a normal relationship. I really don't.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't quite get if she was a prostitute or not.
I, I yeah.
But he goes over there whenever he I guess whenever he desires some sort of intimacy, and I get the sense that he helps her out with money, whether or not she's actually a prostitute. He helps her out with money, he helps with her bills
Could be friends with
because
benefits.
yeah, yeah, very much so.
Yeah,
But
that's
even
like
with
yeah.
yeah, go ahead.
Just someone like that. He's gonna be guarded though at all times, no matter what. So you can't really get truly intimate with a person. So you are just gonna kind of rely on those friends with benefits type of situations because he's never gonna really be that person. You have to let your guard down in front of the people you love, and that's just not him. So
Right.
yeah, whether prostitute or whatever she is, that's about all he's gonna have.
Yeah, and I mean, seemed genuinely interested in him. Like she's asking probing questions, and none of them are so personal that would cause alarm for most people.
Yeah,
But any question for him was just walls just instantly
yeah,
go up.
yeah.
It was pretty interesting to watch. And even before that, there's a scene where he comes home after the initial stakeout that we see. He comes home and there's a birthday thing waiting for him because it's his birthday,
Yeah.
and he immediately calls the landlord like, what's going on here? You were in here. How did you get in here? I thought I was the only one with the key. And he's just, you can see he's paranoid, but he's not frantic.
Not
It's
yet.
just not yet, not yet. It just seems to be an everyday kind of thing for him. This is the way I operate, and I thought that was building a great character. And so, my question, they're both simultaneously doing the same thing, but I think, which one do you think his personality leans more towards? Is it just keeping people out, or is it actively pushing people away?
I think it's more of a keeping people out. That's more like it's not that he's against people per se. He's just against saying or letting people know the wrong things. I think it's more of a, guard up, not letting people get too close, not knowing too much.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah.
Which one do you think?
And yeah, I'm struggling with that, but I think, yes, you're right in that he's actively keeping people out, but
By
it's
that
like,
act, it does push people away.
right, and I think he's okay with that. He's more than okay with that.
Yeah.
So I think it leans more towards keeping people out, but I think he's totally fine. Well, you know what? You can stay over there. I'll come to you when I need you, or I'll use you for whatever I need you for. And that's all the conversation that I really need.
So
And hang on, because my backup laptop for some reason is telling me that it is not charging. Give me 1 second, Tim. Or
oh,
if you could, you know what, while I'm doing that, if you could, while I'm looking at that, speak to his relationship with his partner. And was that Stanley? Was that his name? I think that was his name.
I can't remember. I mean, his relationship with basically everybody is very, very contentious. He's not getting close to anybody. Where there's several moments where the friend would try to be nice to him, and he basically would like snap at him in all intents and purposes. Like he's so focused on what he's doing. The friend is trying to be nice and just boom, snaps at him because he's just focused on his job. He doesn't get too close to people, doesn't want to say too much. He's kind of a dick. He really is. But this movie is it's it's more of like a character study on Henry Call than it is about the conversation per se. Like the
Mhm.
conversation is just the plot to introduce you to Henry and like what's happening, but it's all about him, his paranoia. It's a character study movie, I think at least. That's how I kind of read it more as.
Oh, 100%. It is definitely a character study. So some of the movies that, or one of the movies you had on there was, for instance, was Enemy of the State, the Will
Yeah.
Smith Gene Hackman movie. Actually, Gene Hackman's in that one too.
Yeah.
And um, that movie was focused much more on being an action movie.
Oh,
It
for
it
sure.
touched on, yeah, it touched on some of the same things, but Will Smith's persona in any movie, but even in Enemy of the State, was so far removed from what Gene Hackman's doing here, even though they're kind of treading the same water, so to speak.
Yeah, so
And
I recommended the two in the sense that if you saw Enemy of the State, see this and vice versa, because you could almost build a bridge between like there's like fan theories that it is the conversation is like a prequel and that is his character in the past. Like you could almost build a bridge that Enemy of the State is like a pseudo sequel in a way. Like
mhm.
his character in Enemy of the State has a lot of those characteristics of Call in conversation. And with that type of person, those like CIA, black hat type of people, they could change their identities, they could change their past. Like it's it's interesting to think about Enemy of the State kind of being a sequel in a way. That's why it's just they're like good like back to back watch kind of, even though they are drastically different types of movies.
I agree 100%. They're definitely different types of movies, and I could see them. I could see where people came up with that fan theory. It makes a lot of sense. Steve had an interesting comment. Said I wouldn't have hung around that long with that effing mime following folks around.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a
I mean,
he's not exactly a person you want to hang around with.
right, right, right. Uh, Johnny's here. What's going on, Johnny? Says, "What's up, cool kids?"
Howdy, Johnny.
We got people saying hi back in fourth. And let's see. Stacy, I like how we hear the audio in the park.
Oh, I
So
love that.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah, go ahead and talk about that. Go ahead.
So, and I love Enemy of the State does the same exact thing too in the movies. Same thing. It's those antenna things you point, and you have to have a clear line of sight at the person to actually hear what they're saying. So you're hearing this conversation from different what do you call those antenna things? So at some points it's sounding kind of clear, other parts it's completely garbled. You're not hearing anything, and it's really cool how it's jumping between those back and forth. And Enemy of the State does the exact same thing. So I was like,
Yeah,
that's cool. I know nothing about actual surveillance, but that's cool.
right, right, right. Um, yeah, I'm with you. I don't know anything about surveillance either, but it took me back to the days of the old CRT TVs, and you're adjusting the antennas, and you're trying to get a clear signal. And he's doing the same thing, but with audio. And it was cool the way it played out in the film. Like sometimes it's garbled, sometimes it's clear, sometimes it's kind of in the middle, and
Yeah.
sometimes it's nothing at all. It's just these weird like beeping noises. And yeah, that was a really cool thing to see. And hello and thanks from Stacy. She's saying hi to more people. And Caprice is here. Hey, Caprice. Hello, hello, Mydell, and hello, Tim.
Howdy.
Hello. And silly question, Stacy. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Stacy. Stacy has lots and lots and lots of questions. Uh, what autograph, Tim, would you rather have, Jerry Lewis or Dudley Moore?
Jerry Lewis in that case, which
Favorite Jerry Lewis movie?
um I don't really know a specific. Why am I blanking on the name of it? Has the Paramount Presents. Gosh, why am I blanking on it? Where he's the silly doctor. Why the heck
Is
am I
that the Nutty Professor?
not saying Nutty Professor? Thank you. I was blanking on the name of Nutty Professor. Holy crap.
Yeah,
Yes.
for you people
But
that are younger than us, Jerry Lewis was the original Nutty Professor before Eddie Murphy
yeah.
did his thing. So just so nobody is confused
Yes.
by that.
Old Nutty Professor.
Right, right. Old Nutty Professor. Um, the audio was cool, and
It was nominated
uh,
too. Nominated for
yeah,
some. Yeah.
I can definitely see that. I can definitely see that. And what we find out is that well, we know he's working for somebody right off the bat. Um, but who he's working for is not really clear to us. It's just some rich guy at some corporation, and he's going to return these tapes that he made. And that's where Harrison Ford is, but we find out Harrison Ford is not the guy he's working for. He's like the number two guy.
The in between guy, the middleman, whatever you want to call him.
Yeah, yeah, it was a real shady character. Um, so, I don't know. What did you make of his character?
I, I don't know. I was kind of enthralled with like, holy crap, that's Harrison Ford. I did read something about that I didn't get this sense, but Harrison read the script apparently and thought of the character as this suave kind of. He wanted to play him kind of like a suave gay man that is very preposterous, and that was, I guess, Francis Ford Coppola was really into that idea, so they got him like really nice suits and kind of made the office to match that character that Harrison had in his mind. I didn't get that sense on screen per se, that the way that Harrison did, but that's how Harrison played him. And I was like, okay, interesting. I didn't necessarily get that, but okay, that's fully how Harrison thought of the character, though.
Yeah, I didn't get that
I didn't
sense
get
at
that.
all. And I guess maybe it's a 70s thing, really, really nice suits
I,
equals gay man.
I guess. I thought that was I read
Um,
that and I'm like, that is so weird. Okay.
yeah, I do get a sense of he's not a guy to fool around with.
Yeah.
I definitely got that sense where, if things didn't go his way, you were gonna have real problems. And we see that develop as the movie goes on. Um, so yeah, I really enjoyed his character. And he our guy though, he's also guarded in his work. Our guy, Mr. Call, Gene Hackman, he's also guarded in his work, and he's like, no, I'm only supposed to give these tapes to the director, who is our main guy, main bad guy, I guess. And so he doesn't turn them over to Harrison Ford. He leaves with them, and then things start happening. He starts noticing more and more people are either following him or just watching him from time to time, so we can see his own antenna starting to raise through uh, through all this action that's happening. And I say action not in the modern sense, not in
Yeah.
violence and physicality, not that, but just the things that are happening around him. And eventually, he winds up going to a convention for other people who do
Other
surveillance,
spies. Other spies.
other spies. Um, what I think you got a few things out of this. I want to hear what you got out of this scene and the following scene where they go back to his shop. What did you get out of all this?
Well, at first I was like, holy crap, they had conventions that had like spy gadgets and things like that. That was really cool. But it kind of it opened up in my mind on like there's this whole world where all of these different spy people do their own kind of missions, but they work kind of together and just buy gadgets from a convention. Like I don't know, nothing about that made sense to me. I'm like, isn't this all government issue type stuff? But they just go to a booth from some random guy and here's my, you know, recorder 5000 that this thing records voices 10 times clearer. Buy it from me today. And I was like, holy crap, this is a thing? I don't know if there's any reality to any of that, but that kind of blew my mind. I thought that would all be like government issue, top secret type stuff.
And nowhere in the movie does the government really come into play.
No, no,
So
it doesn't. But you just kind of make that like I made that assumption. I think of a role like that, and I think government.
Mhm, mhm. It seemed like these guys were all kind of private eye kind of deals and using this equipment. And I got the sense that it's a very self-contained world, like you said. You know, they all know each other, they all buy from each other, and there's a lot of gossip among them about what happened in the past. And this is where I gathered that uh, Hank is very well respected in this little world. You know, but there's still a bunch of mystery around him, even though we know something. Everybody seems to know that something bad happened at one point in his past, and something that he really got notoriety for, even though he doesn't seem to want it.
He only cared about the notoriety part of it when the guy calls out that like, hey, you were able to accomplish this and no one else could do something like this. Like he only cared about it from like the work point of view, that he was able to
Mhm.
do it, not the consequences of what came with it. All of that didn't matter. It's like, hey, I was able to accomplish that. And that's all he cared about, was just that he was able to record this feat that no one was able to do.
Right, right. And they, as you do with these kinds of things, you hook up with some old friends, and alcohol starts flowing, and they all, then since they're in his town, they all wind up back at his shop. I'm gonna be honest, I was shocked that that's where they went, or he let them come there. I was like, this doesn't seem like something he would do, because of how guarded he was. I would thought, this, we go to some random bar and hang out there, but not in his actual place of business. I was a little thrown back by that.
That could have been a sense on a little bit of, again, because he was kind of boisterous with things he could do specifically work wise. So that he kind of bragged a little bit. And so here's what I can do. Here's my area.
Yeah, yeah. It even took a lot for him to brag though, because it really took his partner to kind of say, "Hey, this is what we did on the last job," and then he kind of jumps in and was like, "Well, this, and that. Well, we did this thing and that thing with the this whatever gadget it was," and that was cool. And beforehand, at the convention, and a little bit before that, like we said, after his interaction with Harrison Ford's character, we know that people are watching him, or he thinks some that people are watching him. Now, if you're like me, you're thinking that somebody's about to approach him and try to do bodily harm to him, to get these tapes. But no, something else happens to get these tapes. What do you remember what that was?
You describe first, because yeah, you describe
Well,
first. So everyone know I rewatched it on an iPad, just so you know. That was fun.
but yeah, so they, after they're in a shop, and there's one young lady in the party with them who seems to have taken a real liking to him. And try as he might to push her away, she's kind of persistent in her infatuation with him, and winds up sleeping with him. And the next morning when he gets up, the tapes are gone. Of course, he immediately goes into panic mode and he starts calling around, or I can't remember if he got a phone call or if he called the director, or if the director called him. But they let him know that, hey, we got the tapes. Don't worry about it. They're safe. You just come on and get paid.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna ask, well, do you go down there if you're him?
Probably not, honestly, but I'm not that type of person. I no, I wouldn't. No. No. Answer is no, especially at his heightened paranoia at that point in the movie. No. Not in any slight chance.
Yeah, I'm not going down there. Send me the check in the mail, or meet me in some public, very very public place, so we can exchange this.
End up with like a bullet in the back of your head or something.
Yeah, yeah. That what I was thinking completely. I was like, nah, I don't want to do any of that. And Johnny jumped on the Nutty Professor thing also, so he answered at the same time I was answering it. So very cool
Yeah.
uh, with that. Um, we talked a lot about the audio of the movie. What did you think about the? I know you rewatched it on iPad. You've seen it before
Yeah.
though. What did you think about
Yeah.
the
On
look of the movie?
on 4K, it it looked and sounded amazing, like all around. And that the David Shire score, holy shit! I put that score on multiple times, like just to listen to. It's that good. 4K looked
It's pretty good.
phenomenal. Like it's fantastic. Just not on an iPad.
So just I watched it on the TV, and there was some really interesting shots. I like the way occasionally the camera would linger on certain things, and that would kind of help you get into the same mindset as the main character. You see a certain look on someone's face, whether it was really sinister or not, right? It was something that was, hey, look at this thing, and now think about that, and think about that. Or we get a lot of flashbacks to the original taping of the conversation, and every time it seemed like it was a little different.
Well, that was Coppola, I think, trying to play into that what's real and what's not, because the movie is very
Mhm.
ambiguous on is he actually is some of this stuff what he's actually hearing, or is his mind kind of building it up? So I think that those slight variations are Coppola kind of trying to like toy with it. That's the way I took it at least, because the movie is very ambiguous at moments.
It is, and I found myself thinking that same thing. It was like, is this all in his head? Is this, and, at the end, are we gonna find out it was all just in his head, like, like bug or something like that?
Yeah.
Um, and we'll spoil it later, but 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 yeah, it did a great job of doing that, playing with the audience, not just playing with the main character, but playing with the audiences, how they feel about it, how they experienced it. So I was really happy with that. And throughout this time, I'm just going to throw another movie out there. Throughout this time, I was thinking about the movie. Well, a couple of movies actually. We talked Enemy of the State. Of course, I don't know why I can't say that right the first time ever. But anyway, that movie, Blowout. I was thinking about. I recently saw Blowout for the
Yes.
first time.
Yes. Blow out, and a lot of people also talk about blow up, which obviously blow out was the American version of blow up or blow up. God, I'm
Hmm.
always mixed up the two, but like, yes, very similar type of movie. Very similar.
Yeah, and another movie. I thought it was a German movie, The Lives of Others. Have you seen that?
No, I haven't seen that one.
I would say check that out. It's not quite the same type of movie, but we get a guy who's doing surveillance on people. He's actually working for the East German government. This is before the Berlin Wall came down. At least it's set then. It was made after that, but it was set then. And he gets in a position where does he want to tell the thing that he's supposed to tell, or does he want to help the people he's listening to? And it's a really good movie, really good movie. It's another one that shows up on a lot of best lists. If you ever have
Yeah,
a chance
I've
to check
heard
it
of
out.
it. I'm gonna actually kind of add it to my thing real quick because I'm gonna forget otherwise.
Yeah, yeah. So that's a movie. And forgive me for being an old man, but I'm kind of looking back at my notes here for a second. Oh yeah, here we go. So we find out in the middle of the movie that this case that he got all this notoriety for, there were actually three people murdered, and this is very big. When you take into account the case that he's working on now. Um, I got my ideas on how I think well, it's pretty clear how it affected him. Um, how big is the toll you think it took on him?
I mean, with them leaning into the church aspect too, I think it did play a toll. But he kind of tried to mentally compartmentalize it as it's the job. It's part of that aspect, and trying to separate the morality part of what he did led to it. It's just part of the job. It happens.
Mm, yeah, and I think that's what the thing was. Like you said earlier, he's trying to, use the job as kind of a shield for his actions,
Yep.
and he can't fully because of what happened. He can't fully. He can project that image, and that's what everybody seems to get from him or get out of him. But inward, he's definitely struggling with what happened
Yeah.
and feeling responsible for what happened. Johnny says he's debating picking up that Lionsgate Limited 4K, and you say he should. It sounds like.
Oh, I would absolutely because it looks and sounds amazing. Like it's a top tier 4K in my opinion. And that box set thing comes with the cassette tape of the score. The score is so good.
Oh, wow, cassette tape. Wow,
Yeah.
that's I don't know. A 4K with the cassette sounds like
Yes.
just sounds insane.
Yeah.
Wow. That's cool. That's really cool. And everybody doesn't have a tape deck to play it in, but that sounds really cool.
Just go to a Goodwill or something, maybe find one.
Yeah, you can. You can. Um, so after he gets the tapes, he does actually go after he loses the tape, not gets the tapes. After he loses the tapes, he does go down and to meet up with the director, and we see that who was it? It was another big name that played the director at the
Robert
time.
Duvall.
Thank you, Robert Duvall. Uh, R.I.P. to Robert Duvall
Yes.
recently, and
Oh,
Gene
Gene Hackman
Hackman
and Robert Duvall were
last
pretty.
year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to say last year for Gene Hackman. Is that correct?
I think early last year because I think he was last year's Oscars. I think it happened like early in the year.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, R.I.P. to both of those guys. And there's another person who I just wasn't expecting in this movie, and I get it because this came uh, on the
Right
heels of The
before Godfather
Godfather,
2.
right? I was gonna say on the heels of Godfather before Godfather 2. So
Yeah.
hey Robert, I'm working on something. Come on over here. Take a
Yeah.
couple days. 'Cause he's not in it very much, but he does have a presence in the film. Um, I get you kind of get the sense that he's almost a figurehead, not quite a figurehead, but almost a figurehead for this company. I mean, people do what he says, but it's really Harrison Ford character that gets things done.
Yeah.
And I thought they had an interesting dynamic with that.
Yeah. Robert Duvall is not really on screen very long. It's a pretty
No,
small role.
and oh, I almost forgot that the girl who's part of the actual conversation is Cindy Williams from Laverne and Shirley. Um,
Oh my god, I didn't even make that connection actually.
Yeah, as soon as I saw her name, I was like, "Wait, Cindy Williams?" And then her face came up. I was like, "Oh yeah, surely." So
I did not make that
that was
connection.
cool. Yeah, that was cool. See, I haven't seen her in much other stuff other than uh, I saw her other than Laverne and Shirley, and I saw her in a movie called The First Nudie Musical. I don't know if you ever
The first
heard
nudie
of that.
musical?
Yes. I want to say it came out around 74, like 75, 76, something like that. And it is about they're making an all nude musical. I don't think she gets nude in the movie. I don't think she does, but there is a lot of naked people in this movie. And it's a comedy. I want to say Julie Andrews gets shows her top in that movie. It's
Really?
weird. If I'm looking over here, guys, because I have another screen right here, so I'm
Yeah.
looking it up while we're talking.
No way. I've never heard of this. I you got me curious though.
Yeah,
Okay. 76.
1976.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No
Cindy
kidding.
Williams, and okay, maybe not Julianne, not in this movie, but there is a movie out there where she does topless. I'm not sure what the name of the movie is, but there is one out there for
Okay.
anybody who's curious.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, he meets the director, and now the chase is getting kind of ramped up. And one thing that we didn't really talk about was that in this conversation, one of the key phrases, the one that really uh, worries our character, is that the guy that she's talking to says that he will kill us if he gets the chance. At first, I'm like, yo, I thought it was some kind of top secret kind of government thing, and then later, as it's going on, I'm like, okay, she's having an affair, and I think that's what it is.
I
But
took a fair out of it. Yeah.
yeah, and it's weird because Cindy Williams is very, very, very young at this time, and Robert Duvall is already balding and aging at that point. If
Nothing
you've seen him in The
surprises me.
Godfather,
Nothing surprises.
right, right, right. Especially in movies, because they do that a lot.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah. So that's what worries him. So he knows that they're gonna have a meeting later at a particular hotel room. So he tries to get that room before they do, to do some surveillance. But he actually winds up within a adjoining room and or adjacent room, not necessarily adjoining. And this is what blew my mind is that you can actually ask for an adjoining room without you being a part of the group that's in the other room. I mean,
Yeah.
that was weird. Um, but
That's a
anyway,
hotel in 1970s. All bets are off.
yeah, all bets are off. All bets are off. And he goes in there. He installs some surveillance equipment. He kind of slide. He actually drills into the wall or screws into the wall and slides some gadgets in there so he can hear into that room. And we get what the first of well, not the first, but we get a our scariest vision, or we think it's a vision, or we're not sure it's a vision, where he sees Cindy Williams and a whole lot of blood everywhere. And how were you there? What did you think was going on then?
I mean, at first I'm like, holy shit, murdered there in the bathroom, and but as the movie's going, like it's all in his head. Like my initial thing is it's all in his head, but when you're watching it, it's you really think it happened at that moment. Like that's what he's seeing. But
Mhm.
yeah, I like I said, I think it's all up here.
Okay. Okay. Well, we'll see about that after when we get to the end. We'll
Yeah.
discuss that a little bit more. Johnny helps us on our quest for boobs, and I got to poke fun at you a little bit because, of course, we would have Tim on when we talk to these. So she showed them an SOB. Is that short for what I would normally use it for, or is that short for something else, or is that the actual name of it? I can't remember. Let me know, Johnny.
Yeah, I'm curious. I gotta know.
Um, Oh, no, someone else saying hi to Johnny. But yeah, so he sees that he basically passes out in this room and then wakes up the next morning and it seems to have happened. Things seem to have happened. Or he gets into the room and he sees a body on the bed. It looks like the I guess the boyfriend. And I'm sorry, not the boyfriend. It looks like Robert Duvall's character, and there's blood all in this bag, and he's now we're starting to get a little frantic, and I'm gonna change the banner here since we're doing it, since we're getting into the nitty gritty of it. And so yeah, if you haven't seen the conversation, you can kind of mute us now, or leave out, come back, or whatever it is you want to do, or stay if spoilers don't bother you. But he eventually goes home, and he gets a phone call, and the person on the other end of the phone is Harrison Ford, and Ford's like, we know that and he really loses it, and he just tears his
Tears the
whole
entire apartment apart.
entire apartment to shreds
Yeah. Out of pure paranoia, though. It's all like I said.
out of pure paranoia.
Yeah, that's the movie is super ambiguous, and like I said, I personally I heavily take it. Most of this is in his head building things up even more than they are, and he ripped that whole place apart looking for bugs, and it's paranoia. That's like I said, that's
Yeah.
my takeaway from it.
So my thing was, I'm stuck in the middle because I'm like, it could be in his head, but then it could have happened, and his reaction is just extreme. when he gets home because he doesn't find. I don't think he finds anything when he
No,
when
he
he
rips the whole place
dresses the whole
apart.
place up, right?
He doesn't find anything and then just plays the saxophone.
Yeah, he likes to play the sax. We get a few scenes of that, and that's kind of the only real thing that even we know about him as far as
Like
what kind of
as a
person he
as
is.
a person outside of the job, yeah.
Right, right. So I don't know. It's tough. It's tough. I can go either way on that if it's in his head or if it actually happened.
So, all right, on that note then, do you like personally I love when movies don't tell me everything. Like I kind of I like when a movie ends and I'm like I'm not sure which way it went. Like do you like that or are you more of a like a I want to definitively know the answer at the end of the movie? Like what type of
No, I like ambiguity. It gives us something to talk about. Like
yeah.
here, or if I'm watching it with somebody at home, and it's like, oh, okay, what do you think is going on here? What do you think really happened here? So I like that, and I know some people don't, and that's okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. But I like that, and it also, to be honest with you, it gives me a reason to go back and watch the movie again.
Yeah,
Um,
cuz you could come to a different determination on a second watch or a third watch.
yeah,
You
absolutely,
find out
absolutely.
like those new little cues. Like I want to give it another rewatch on the 4K because I don't the iPad did not give justice to like the sound aspect whatsoever. So like I
Mhm.
want to hear more of those like audio cues as things are changing. Like I said, I believe most of it is in his head, but who knows? Maybe on a third watch things will change for me. I don't know.
Right, right. It is one of those things where you can watch it and pick it apart and go, "Hey, this, and this means that this is really happening," or and then you can go, this, and this means that it didn't happen."
Yeah.
So I can see I can see it going either way. So yeah, very glad for that. Anything about the movie that we didn't touch on that you wanted to talk about?
No, I mean besides just again reiterating that score is so freaking good. Like, did you like the theme especially because the theme plays repeatedly throughout the movie? That piano
Yes,
theme.
I did, and when we get to the next movie, we're gonna talk about repeating themes also. But yes, I did enjoy that. Um, it wasn't anything that was overbearing like in a lot of movies, so I was happy about that. Um, but it fit pretty well, so I was cool with that. All right, so I'm going to give my overall thoughts on the movie. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, well,
I'm super curious. I was hoping you weren't gonna be like this is too boring or something like that. So
when I first watched, it was kind of boring, and again, it was late at night, and it was like, all right, nothing's happening, and then before you know it, I'm paying attention to other things, and then kind of halfway in the movie, so I was like, it's just meandering on. But then on the second watch, when I was dialed in, a lot more focused. I'm getting a lot out of it. I really liked the character study of him, even though we're not given much to go on. But throughout it, we're watching his paranoia just build and build and build and build. And I start looking for little things to let me know that he's getting worse or he's adjusting better. He's getting better. And that really, the getting better part never came.
yeah,
but but I was enjoying the ride, and he's a perfect case for what I say. What I mean when I say that you don't have to like the characters in the movie; they just have to be compelling.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because I don't like him as a person.
No, he's a dick.
Yes, but at the same time, you can't stop watching him either, and watching him maneuver through this world. So I will say I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. I'm looking forward to going back to it again and watching it. I'm gonna give it some time. I'm not gonna watch it like right
Yeah,
away. I want to give it some time, give it some space, and then see how I feel about it the next time. And but yeah, I really did like this movie. So great pick, a great for you, great putting it on the list. I really enjoyed this and glad to check it off.
I'm glad you gave it a chance. Definitely recommend. I know you've seen Enemy of the State. Now that you've seen Conversation, give Enemy of the State like a fresh rewatch because
Mm.
there's so many mannerisms that are so similar between his two characters, and I don't know. I like building that fantasy that the two are connected.
Yeah, I will definitely have to do that. I'll remember to do that next time. And I would say for you, next time, pair it with the lives of others, which you've not seen, and report back. I guess we'll see. But yeah, those uh, two guys who are similar. I think they're not social butterflies. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
And I was seeing if anybody else popped in. Johnny did answer the question. He said it's a movie SOB. I knew it was a movie. I just didn't know if that was the actual name of it. So I
Oh,
will have to. Again,
SOB.
I saw it when I was a kid. I was a teenager when I saw it. So and that's been a lot of years ago. So we'll
Oh
not say how
yeah.
many years ago it was.
Yeah, there it is. Okay. I'm not familiar with that movie, but okay. Cool. Interesting.
All right. Yep. So thank you, Johnny, for clearing that up for me. And let's go ahead and get into the next movie. I had you watch an entirely different kind of movie. There's
Very, very
nothing
different.
nothing ambiguous about the movie I had you watch
No.
at all.
No.
This is pretty straightforward, and this is V.I. Warshawski, starring one Kathleen Turner in her heyday. Um, she's a private eye, and she's kind of down on her luck, as you are in all these movies. You got to be a down on your luck private eye. Nobody's ever, overrun with cash.
Yeah.
So, and she is just hanging out in a bar. She doesn't want to take the job that she's offered because the guy is a sexist and he's a jerk, and so she turns down this well-paying job. She's going to hang out with her friend at a bar, and she sees a guy who she really likes. Turns out he's a pro hockey player, and they kind of hit it off. But he seems a little shady, or at least he's dealing with shady people, not necessarily he seems shady. And then things happen. They were going to leave out together, but they don't. And he just randomly shows up at her apartment a little while later that night, drops his kid off with her, his daughter, and is like, "Hey, I trust you," which is the craziest thing in this. I trust you, random
I
person I
just
just met in
met
a
you.
bar. Yeah, I just met you in a bar, no less. Not even
Yeah.
like at a church or anything. And here, watch my kid for a couple hours while I go do this thing. And he gets dead, and his daughter, who's a little firecracker herself, hires her to find out who is responsible for this, and that is pretty much the plot of VR Warshawski. And I know we didn't like Hank Paul in the conversation. How'd you feel about VI Vicky, or stands for virtuous, as she told somebody,
Yeah.
Warshawski?
Oh, she was very likable. She was like a I don't know. I guess in that position you have to be kind of like the guy's woman per se. Like she's very tough. She's not playing like the feminine damsel in distress at all. Like she's kind of a badass. I liked her a lot.
Well, along those notes, though, the original script. This is actually based on a novel, which I didn't. I just found out when I was kind of looking over things for this. And the person who wrote the novel just pretty much took the filmmakers to task because the original script they wrote had her as a subordinate to a man, and really not. It wasn't as much about her as this movie actually is.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm
It's
I'm saying good on her.
yeah, absolutely. It's there. Nothing about her character in the movie needed a man. Like she did this whole thing on her own. Like she was pretty badass. Like I liked her character a lot.
Yeah. And she had a reporter in her pocket that was a kind of a boyfriend, a kind of a friend with benefits, things. They kind of traded secrets and information all the time,
Yeah,
and that was
he
fun.
he was not. I didn't particularly like him, but that was also kind of what their relationship was. They weren't like
Hmm.
this lovey-dovey. He was kind of an ass. She was
Yeah,
smart ass back to him. Like they were that was a weird dynamic with them.
yeah, it was. And the one person I really want to ask you about is the daughter, Kat. And kid actors can be so hit or miss. What do you think of this one?
I liked her a lot. She played. There's nothing about her is like oh my god, but she played this smart ass kid really well. Like I liked her. I She went from sad her father died to like kind of chippy trying to help pretty quickly, but that's the movie. You're not going to go through the stages of
Right.
grief on screen all really quick in a movie like that. So don't
No,
put
no.
nothing into that.
This was definitely not trying to do that. This
No,
was, hey,
no.
here's the plot. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's get to solving this crime. Um, and with me just saying that, I'm going to ask you, what genre is this? Just if you were picking the genre, because I when I looked up the genre, something was really left out for me. But go ahead. A couple things actually.
Uh, I mean, it has action moments. It kind of plays off like a buddy cop movie esque for most of it because it is her and the girl teamed up for a fair chunk of it. It plays off buddy cop esque, honestly, because it's got comedy, it has action, it is two people that are opposites in a way teamed up for a good chunk. So it plays off kind of buddy cop.
It was. That's where I am. And it's buddy cop action comedy is what I would kind of consider this, or comedy action, because it
Yeah.
definitely leans more into that. So well, I just happened to pull up the IMDb page, and it just says crime mystery. I was like, wait,
Uh,
we're missing a lot.
yeah. That's to me. I read crime mystery and I'm thinking about like the Bone Collector or something like that.
Hmm. Hmm. It was definitely not not just a crime mystery.
Well,
Uh,
but I just want to say real quick before we dive deeper into
yeah.
it. I want to say I went into this by the way knowing zero to the point where like I didn't even read. Normally, when you'd go down a list, you would read the synopsis of stuff and see like what interested you. I watched this. I picked this because in a mystery box, I got a Kathleen Turner autograph that was from her character in this movie, and I had never heard of it before. So that was the reason I picked this. So when the hockey player gets killed in the pretty beginning, I had no idea that that was the plot that was going to unfold at all. Like, not reading the synopsis, when that happened, I was like, holy crap, I thought this dude was going to be like part of the movie, and boom, he's dead.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Like that. They did a good job with that. They set it up like, yeah, he's gonna be around. But yeah, boom, he's gone. And that really set it in motion. But it has a lot in common. I'm gonna see if you think the same. Um, that's the setup even, and then the way the movie carries goes through. Um, I got a lot of Beverly Hills Cop vibes from this movie.
oh, I totally see that. And that's really funny because I literally just watched Beverly Hills Cop on AMC the night before. Like it just happened to be on, so that's a good call out, and it falls more in line with again the buddy cop territory.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Even I mean, even down to the two characters, we got them trying to improv their way through things as the movie's playing out. And we talked about the score in the conversation. The score, or at least the theme song for Vi Warshawski, repeating itself like the actual Foley theme in
Yeah,
Beverly Hills Cop. It just keeps popping up all over the place. And I don't know, did you like that little riff they had going?
I liked it. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. All right. So we got these guys. I mean, it's not a deep movie. There's not a whole lot to grasp onto here. She's just kind of trying to solve this crime, and we know that her and the girl, the daughter, are bonding throughout all of this. And I thought that relationship worked out, uh, served the movie well. I thought they did a pretty good job with how they interacted with one another, and we could
Yeah.
see. I could believe that Vicky Warshawski would uh, kind of take a liking to the kid, even though she doesn't seem to like kids, or she says she doesn't like kids anyway.
For the most part, until she's, you know, later on she mentions about would I be a good mother. So the kid definitely brought something out in her.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely, and they, like I said, they bond, and that's really the core of the movie for me is their bonding throughout all of this. And we early on we get some things that the girl doesn't want to go to her mom at all, and she hates her mom, can't stand her. Did you pick up on any, or what did you think about that at the time that right at the beginning after dad dies, and she says, "No, don't take me to my mom."
Oh, I just thought it was another like toxic mother daughter relationship. I didn't really at that moment didn't read anything into it other than just some daughters hate their mothers, some mothers are terrible. Like that's kind of what I read into it at that moment.
Right. So clearly they did a good job of throwing you off the scent early on.
Early on, yeah.
So who were you thinking was the responsible party here at the as we're kind of going through the movie?
I mean, I was kind of falling for exactly where they were initially pointing. Like it's leaning towards the one brother. What's his name? Uh, the one that's at the docks in the beginning. I can't remember his
Yeah,
name.
I can't remember the brother's name, but
Yeah.
the older one.
Yes. Yeah. Like
Yeah.
the movie is pointing you in his direction, and I knew in my mind it wouldn't be that cut and dry, but at the same time, I didn't really. I was kind of just going through the motions. I wasn't trying to like figure it out. I
Everybody
was
else.
just watching, and everything was pointing to him. I was like, okay, it's pointing to him. So I didn't really read too much into that.
Do you normally try to figure it out as a youth, or you just always just let it
I
wash over you?
I generally like to just watch it and let the movie unfold. I try not to figure things out early. Like I don't know. It's just I find it more enjoyable if I kind of just let the movie tell me what it's kind of going for.
It's totally understandable. Johnny says I'm getting him and Steve confused. I'm Steve, Johnny. If I'm thinking, I apologize. I didn't mean to do that. Uh, Steve says he's not offended, so we'll
And
take it there.
Steve's gonna point on something that I wanted to bring up, and he brought it up. So,
Yeah,
well, she is broke. She's in a
right.
no joke. That is $1 million+ apartment. It
Yeah,
she is in an apartment that is like only second or third floor looking straight out at Wrigley Field. Full view. That is
full view, full view.
full view. Nothing obstructed. That's like a she's in $1 million+ apartment easy. I mean
Yeah,
nowadays that's probably like a 10-15 million dollar apartment honestly. So,
yeah. So I mean, you're in downtown Chicago.
yeah. Yeah.
It's crazy. And when looking out her window, I mean, she could see the left fielder. I mean, she could read his jersey.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
That was a choice. I'm not sure, like to play her off as broke and in that apartment. I was like, that is a choice because nothing about being at Wrigley Field is part of like the story. They're just like, cool. This is the apartment we're gonna put her in. Cool.
I will say this though, I did get the feel that Chicago was a secondary character in it because they kept referencing Chicago repeatedly, whether it was the Cubs themselves, Wrigley, the Black Hawk, the Dock,
Oh, there,
all of
there
these things.
there's heavy Chicago themes for sure, but again, an apartment like that for a broke
Yeah, right,
private
right.
detective.
But that's an 80s, 90s movie. Even before that, well, they
Yeah,
do that still sometimes. They'll the character's broken. They got this apartment that there's no way they could afford. It's crazy. I don't know
yeah,
why they do that all the time.
yeah. I'd
but
take
that
the
was
apartment though.
yeah. And the risks though, if you're a baseball fan, you know that Wrigley sometime home runs go into those apartments across the street,
Yeah.
and windows can be broken. So that's the only risk.
For that view, man, I don't care.
Steve did bring up. He said the music was not for me at all.
I
It
dug it.
just
Like
did not.
I dug it. I thought it fit the movie well. Like I had no real complaints about anything. It was a fun movie.
Yeah, yeah. It was pretty fun. Um, at the as we get going further into the movie, I mean, we get our big action set pieces towards the end of the movie. We get the fun chase, another Chicago thing. We get through the river that runs through
Yeah.
downtown. Um, how do you think Kathleen Turner did with the action?
I thought she did well enough. I Nothing about the movie struck out as I don't know, like not up to par. I thought she played good for a like a woman action star that doesn't use a gun or isn't really generally in the action. She's just a private detective. She's not really in car chases or boat chases as a regular. So I thought she played that well.
Right. I thought she did too. I think there was one or two spots where I think I saw a stunt person, um, particularly when she was jumping, I think, off the pier into the speedboat.
Oh yeah,
So,
there is definitely noticeable stuff. Like even when boom boom goes boom in the beginning, like if
mhm.
you look at it quickly, you see the rag doll going up into the water. Like
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
it's part of it.
Sorry, got a frog in my throat, something all of a sudden. Um, but yeah, that was it. And at the end, and I'm gonna put up the spoiler again for anybody who may not have seen. For a movie like this, I don't know if a spoiler really matters.
I really, it's yeah. This is not a spoilery movie, really.
No, but I'm just gonna put it up just to be on the safe side. Well,
Yeah,
and at the end, we find out. Well, the older brother is a villain, but the girl's mom is the bigger villain, and she's coming back to try to. What this is all about is they're trying to gain control of the company, the family company or whatever, and she's trying to wipe everybody out to do it. And at that reveal, how are you doing with that reveal?
I was fine with it. They they did played her off a little bit like she had the problems, and then at the end she's batshit crazy that all she cares about is money. That forget her daughter at that point. It was fine. There was no like holy crap this is awesome or there was no disappointment. I was like okay, for sure she's crazy. She wants money. She'll kill her daughter. Whatever. I was kind of like in between. I was like fine with it.
Yeah, my one gripe going back to watch it again was, how willing everybody in her family was, the little girl, how willing everybody in her family was just to kill her. It's like
It was a
you
dysfunctional
guys
family. Very
completely
dysfunctional.
dysfunctional. They were very dysfunctional.
Even they play off like even the grandfather who left her the fishing shack was kind of an ass. Like they had like a
Mhm.
love hate thing going on. So that whole family was just weird.
Yes, yes, very much so. They were, you know, like I said, they were just all too willing to just off this girl, off this young girl. Steve said I was a little surprised they let her get her ass kicked like she did.
So on that note, yeah, we didn't touch on that. That's Wayne Knight plays a bad guy role as I guess he's a teamster, right? Is that what he is essentially because he's
Yeah,
part of yeah, and yeah they have this banter and it's like this playful banter in a way, and then he starts like full on hitting her. I was like, oh damn, like Wayne Knight, the bad guy here, and not to mention his bad guy lair is the Ghostbusters firehouse. I thought that was cool. Did
yeah,
you pick up on
yeah.
that?
I did not pick up on that. Thank you. I did not pick up on that.
The
And
second they pulled in, I was like, oh my god, that's the Ghostbusters firehouse.
it's funny. I should have picked up on that because I don't know if you have a Roku TV. I have a Roku TV, and if the TV sits idle, it goes to what's called Roku City,
Yeah,
and it's just basically it's just a side scroll across an animated city,
yeah,
and within this city there are uh, different scenes and different buildings and places and items from movies and TV. For instance, the DeLorean from Back to the Future will come driving down the street. You can see the Baxter Building from Marvel, the Avengers Building. Um, One of the places is the firehouse from Ghostbusters with the fire with the plasma. What's it called? The plasma one or whatever the car is called.
yeah.
And I've recognized it every time, but when watching this movie comes up, I didn't recognize it at all. That's crazy.
Yeah, that I kind of geeked out a little bit there. It's a Station 23, I think, is what the fire station actually is. And it's been in a chunk of movies before, but every time I see it, I'm like Ghostbusters Firehouse because that's the main thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, I thought the strength of this movie for me was aside from Kathleen Turner's performance, her and the little girl and their chemistry. Aside from that, I thought the pacing was really the star because this thing just kind of moves, and it's a short movie. It's like 90 minutes,
Yeah, it's not long at all.
and it gets in and gets out of the way. So I thought that was a strength. And like I said, there's not as much to sink our teeth into in this movie as there was in the conversation. So I'm gonna throw it to you and ask you now, what are your overall thoughts on VR Warshawski? Like it, love it, hate it?
I'm gonna put it as liked it. It falls into this category on, you know, the type of movie that you watch it, you enjoyed it while you watched it. Nothing particularly like stuck out as like wow that's awesome, but nothing also stuck out as like I don't like that. It's just a solid fun time. That's what I put it as. It's something I would absolutely watch again. It's just solid fun. Really, that's it's just kind of right there in the middle.
A little bit, not trivia. Well, maybe trivia. Let's do this. Let's do this. I'm just gonna ask you the question. If you were guessing, just random guess, Rotten Tomatoes score for VR Warshawski.
Um, I'm gonna say Rotten Tomatoes is hard on a lot of movies like that. I'm gonna say like 30.
24% for the
24.
critics. 24.
That's like I know critics are rough on movies like that where there is no real like depth. It's just going through the motions. But I like movies like that though too. It's just fun. That's all.
Right. And obviously, I recommended it, so I like it too. And this is going to lead me to my next question because you said it. Critics are harsh on these kinds of movies. So, random guess now. The popcorn meter, which is the audience for people who are not familiar with Rotten Tomatoes, what do you think the audience score came out to be?
I'm gonna put it definitely higher. I'm gonna say more like 70.
All right. Are you ready for this? Whole clutch your pearls or whatever you got to do. 23%.
Really? Audiences hated it
Yes.
too?
Audience hated it too.
Oh damn. Okay. All right. I
Yeah,
guess
I was good.
I was gonna say I guess I have low standards then. I don't know. I had fun with it.
I did too. I liked the movie. So I was totally unprepared for the audience score on this movie when I looked it up. I was like you. I was figuring the critics were low and the audience would be pretty high because it's just be right.
I so this is unrelated to the score or anything like that. One thought I have coming out of this, by the way, is the name of the movie is awful in the sense that like it doesn't flow off the tongue. It doesn't. It's kind of weird to pronounce at first. Like it's her character. I get it. That is not like a say Shaft. Like, I'm gonna watch Shaft. Okay, that flows
Right.
off the tongue. That's the character. I'm gonna watch Vi Warshawski. Like, that's a that's a name.
That is a name. That is definitely a name. And I guess we were going to come back to this. Stacy asked the question earlier, who would you pick if we were going to reboot this thing? Who would you cast in that role? And her suggestion was Rose Byrne.
I would have zero problems with Roseburn. I This might be a out there pick, but Allison Brie. I
Okay.
like Allison Brie a lot, and she could pull off like the smart ass. I could totally. I would pick her.
Well, maybe further left field, but when you think about it, she's kind of played this character before. And I'm going to say Melissa McCarthy.
Oh yeah, she could pull it off 100%. I Melissa McCarthy is so. It depends on the movie for me though. Like I did not
Hmm.
like The Heat at all. That one with Sandra Bullock, but there are
Hmm.
ones that I really like with her. So, but she could totally pull off the character.
Yeah, and actually, her character in the Heat is similar to this character.
It
Um,
is. I just everything else about the Heat. I don't know. I just really didn't like the Heat. I don't know.
I understand. I'm not the biggest fan of it. Uh, it- Everybody else seems to love this movie, so we're two that don't really love it, and it's okay. Like I said, my
Yeah.
wife loves the movie, so I've got the movie, but I'm sure we'll watch it again. Um, but yeah, I think that's a pretty good pick, and it looks like we've reached the end of the comments, so we can wrap this thing up. All right, Tim, I'm gonna give you the spotlight. Let people know if you have anything going on over at Tim Vince and what's coming up next or what they can go back and check out.
I mean, I basically just have. I'm putting out like shorts of. I've got like 6 or 7 shorts of stuff I recorded while on this trip. Otherwise, I've got vlogs and other stuff. I'm working on a room tour video. I haven't put out a room tour video in like 2 years. I am working on that to get that out soon. Otherwise, I just kind of go with the flow. Like I don't know if I never tried to make my channel like a I don't know, like a branded, like trying to make it a thing. It's just kind of my outlet, and it's a place I just post stuff I want to post. I don't know. It's weird. I'm really bad at self promotion, so I've got nothing else to say.
'Cause I'm similar and I know that consistency, for instance, is the key to YouTube, to getting big on YouTube, and I just kind of post when I want and whenever the mood strikes me. And now, so I'm really bad about that those kind of things. But yeah, check out Tim's channel and room tour. You can do a house tour, actually.
I so I want to call it a house tour, but like at the same time, people that are searching movie room tour, like I want it to show up. But yes, it would be several different rooms in the video. Like I I've got a lot of crap in my house. So yeah, it's realistically going to be more of like a house tour.
Yes, I remember the last room tour video. I was like, holy crap. So that was cool.
Yeah,
Looking forward to the next one.
that room tour is still every month. It is still my most watched video. It's at like 93K right now.
Oh wow. Cool.
It just keeps going.
Yeah, with good reason. And I'm sure if you do another one, if and when you do another one, that one will take off too because new stuff. People want to see new stuff.
I love watching people's room tours. I get inspiration from other people's setups.
That's cool. And you've got a lot of stuff there. I don't have much more other than this wall. So I'm not going to be doing one of those. um, Month of April for me for this channel. Uh, I've been doing a series where I've been doing the top 10 movies of every year from 2000. I'm working my way up to 2025. And I'm on 2010. I was finished editing this video last night, and I don't know what I did, but I did everything I normally do, and then all my work disappeared. So I've got to re-edit this video. So
Oh,
that was supposed to be out already. So hopefully I'll get that together and get it out next week sometime. I did earlier today. I did take a trip to McKay's in Mebane, North Carolina today, and got a lot of good stuff. So I will have a haul video coming up.
I love
Uh,
McKay's.
other, yeah, I love McKay's was great. Um, got a series with my guy Troy at Comic Book Movie Collector, and we're gonna do our third episode on this channel. It's gonna come up on this channel, and that'll be towards the end of April. And sometime in the middle, I'm gonna be on Fans of Something with Eddie in the finals of I think it's poorly described movies or whatever they're calling it. So I won last my round when I was on last. So I'm in the finals. I'm in the championship, and I'm going to try to bring the trophy home. We'll see how that goes.
Nice.
So
Yeah.
thank you, Tim, for coming back to joining me again. I appreciate it.
I appreciate you asking me seriously. Like I said, I haven't done lives in a while, so I appreciate being asked, and I had a lot of fun, and I had fun watching and rewatching the movies too. So this was a good time. Thank you again.
Good. I'm glad you did. And people don't know this. They're watching you if they're familiar with you. They might have recognized that you are not at home. So I'm just going to say to you, be very careful and safe going home tomorrow. And thanks again. And really, I think that is it. There was a couple comments towards the end, but then we're going to wrap it up. Steve said I had fun. And terrific to see you chaps discuss movies. Thank you, Stacy. If you two would see any drama movie from the 70s on the big screen, what would you choose? That's a good way to go out. What would you pick?
Oof. Maybe something grand and epic like Superman would be kind of cool. Yeah, probably maybe like Superman. I missed when it got
That
re-released into theaters. That'd be probably pretty cool.
that would be cool. I got to see it when I was a kid, so I might do that. I might do Star Wars again, something like that. Or if I were just sticking strictly to a drama, I might go with one of the Godfather movies because I've never seen them on the big screen
One or two. Which one do you like more though?
too.
I'm in the camp of I like one more.
Okay. Now, don't get me wrong. They're both 10 out of 10 for me,
Yeah.
but I like two a little more. A little more.
They are both great.
Uh,
Yeah.
they're both fantastic. Johnny says, great stream. They're always great to see Tim back on a live stream. Thank you,
Thank you.
Johnny. And we are going to end it right there, guys. Thanks for hanging out with me and Tim. And if you've been here before, thanks for hanging out with us again. Bye bye.
Bye.